Hi, it's Kathy with Get a Book Deal 101. Okay, so if you've been reaching out to agents and you haven't been hearing anything back, or worse, you've been getting what feels like a form rejection letter, you are probably doing one of three things wrong. The first thing you might be doing wrong is simply targeting the wrong agents. And I know a lot of you are going to start shaking your heads and saying, no, I've done the research. But let me tell you, I have yet to speak to a single agent who hasn't told me that they get a good percentage of their queries on topics that they don't represent. So do the math on that. If every agent says that a large portion of the queries they receive are completely misplaced, there's at least a chance that you're not talking to the right agents. But let's say you are. Let's say you've targeted the right agent. Another thing that might be happening is you might be sending the right agent the wrong information. And by that, I mean maybe you're sending a query that's rock solid. Maybe you've hit all the notes you need to hit to attract their attention, but did you remember to add the information that they asked for specifically? For example, maybe an agent asks you to send them a list of comparable or competitive titles. What they're looking for is 4 or 5 examples of books that are similar to your book, either in voice, maybe in topic, maybe in genre. What that agent wants to do is imagine where your book's going to sit on shelf at the bookstore, or what other books are going to show up in the readers who read this also liked box on Amazon. What that agent's trying to figure out is what the market is like for your topic, for your genre, and what editors might be interested in your book based on what editors represented the other books. So by not taking the time to provide this information to the agent, you are doing a couple things. You're telling that agent either that you don't know enough about the industry to be able to research comparable or competitive titles, or worse, you're letting that agent believe that you don't care enough about your book to spend the time doing this research. And you do care enough about your book. So don't lose the potential opportunity to have dialogue with this agent just because you didn't look to see what specifically they wanted from you. The third thing that might be keeping you from hearing back from agents is that your book just might not be ready yet. However, if you've done the first two things correctly, if you've targeted the right agent and you've given them all the right information, if your book isn't ready, there's a very good chance you're still going to hear back from that agent. Here's why that's a good thing. Number one, agents make money when they make money for writers. Agents know what sells. Agents know what editors want. So if an agent wants to give you feedback on your book, you probably want to listen. So if you can open that dialogue with the agent, you are that much closer to landing representation and to getting your book deal. Here's a great example of this in action. Catherine Sockett, the author of The Help, received 59 rejections before she finally got representation. What she says is that every time she got a rejection from an agent, every time an agent gave her feedback, she went back and she reworked and she repolished and she retightened her manuscript until she got to the 59th agent who said, I think you got something here. And then that manuscript went on to the bestseller list for 100 weeks and was made into a feature film and won all kinds of awards. Now, if that manuscript had gone out when the third agent saw it, do you think it would have been on the bestseller list for 100 weeks? Probably not. Probably not, because the manuscript wasn't ready yet. But Catherine was able to open dialogue with these agents. She was able to get feedback from the agents, and she was able to go back and incorporate that into her manuscript until she got it to a point where an agent saw it and immediately knew this one's ready. So if you can do step 1, target the right agent. Step 2, give the right agent the right information. And step 3, have your book ready to go, you're going to be irresistible to agents. Now, if you want to learn more about how to be irresistible to agents, if you want to learn more about targeting agents and what makes a query letter beyond the specifics that an agent's asking for, what else needs to go into a query letter to get the attention of agents, then I hope you'll join me on my free upcoming webinar. We're going to go over all of that and more. I'm going to give you a list of resources that are completely free that you can take action on immediately. And I'm also going to give you some methods that are low cost but just as sure to get you results. As a thank you for signing up, I'm also going to send you a list of the top 10 agents for new authors. But keep in mind, just because an agent is on this list doesn't necessarily mean that they are the right agent for you. In the webinar, we're going to talk more about how you can go through that list and determine which agents are right for you and which agents aren't. And on the list, I'm going to give you direct links to their websites, to their submission guidelines, and to a list of what they're looking for right now. So the webinar is coming up soon. As I said, it's completely free. I hope you'll join me. If you want to, just put your email in the box and click the link, and I'll see you on the webinar.